The Mati project is about monitoring hate speech online, so I'll talk more about that. But before I do, just a little bit about the IHAB research. At IHAB research, we focus on driving local tech research using market and social research. And we are also focusing on driving innovation in the country, and we do this by trying to get relevant and impactful knowledge. So we try and do research locally to meet local needs. Another thing that we also do at the IHAB research is to increase the skill capacity of local researchers, so that the people we send out to the field are people who are properly trained. One of the very interesting projects we're doing is the Umati project. So, our partners. These are some of our partners, MLab, Ushahidi, Spider, Internews, and like Africa Virtual University. So the Umati project. As I mentioned, the Umati project is focusing on monitoring hate speech online. So we're only looking at the online space. And this project it started in September. We started in September as a test month due to the by-elections, and it's going to run until after the elections. The reason we decided to monitor hate speech online is we realized the great influence communication had on the last post-election violence, as Rachel has just mentioned. What's really interesting is that some of this communication was happening in the online space, and it had a negative impact on the ground. The communication in the online space was even being moved by people in the diaspora. In other words, you do not have to be here to push for negative communication to go on. And realizing this, we saw the need to monitor this online space to see what conversation is this that's going on, and how can we learn from it? How can we use it to educate the people here on the ground? Another interesting thing is the growing use of internet in Kenya. In just 1 year, between June 2011 and June 2012, we've seen an 82.7 increase in internet adoption. This is quite significant. What is even more significant is half of these users are on Facebook. So we hypothesize that a lot of this communication will happen on Facebook and other social media channels. And that's one of the areas we're focusing. We're looking at Facebook, we're looking at Twitter, we're looking at blogs, we're looking at forums. I'm sure some of you have heard of the Mashada Forum, which was cited as one of the spaces where a lot of negative communication was going on. And the sad story is this is not the only forum where this is taking place. So at Umati, we're trying to look at these are the spaces where this conversation is going and understanding and trying to learn from it. What are the goals of Umati? To set a definition of hate and dangerous speech that can be incorporated into the Constitution. We've all know what hate speech is, but we've probably never heard what dangerous speech is. Dangerous speech is a new term that was created by a professor we're working with. Her name is Susan Benesh from the American University, and she's done extensive research in different countries towards communication around the elections. And she came up with the term dangerous speech. The reason why we're using dangerous speech is because we realize that the current definition of hate speech in Kenya has some loopholes, has some severe loopholes, and I'll expand a bit more on that shortly. The second goal we have is to forward these incidences of dangerous speech to the Uchaguzi platform, which Rachel has just mentioned. So this Uchaguzi platform is a mapping tool. So we can see where these incidences are occurring on a map, and then they can be forwarded to our partners, and they can do something about it. For example, the police would know that, okay, maybe if it's in Kayole, for example, there's violence in Kayole, and they can go there and deal with the violence. The third goal is to define a process for election monitoring that can be replicated elsewhere. We don't want this project only to be used end-to-end here. We hope that it can be used in other countries and in other situations, not only during elections, but during other significant processes. And also we hope to further civic education on hate speech, because currently people are not even aware that they are committing hate speech acts. They don't even know that what they're saying in online spaces is wrong. So we're trying to pick these examples and show people when you say this is actually wrong. Why dangerous speech? So as I mentioned before, the definition of hate speech in the current constitution it has several loopholes. I'll just mention two. Number one, it only outrightly mentions that hate speech it acts against ethnicity, nationality, or race. What about religion? What about political parties? What about gender? We've noticed people talk very negatively about the women and the women politicians. Another loophole is that you have to prove the intent of the speaker for you to prove that they have committed a hateful act, a hate speech act. However, it's very difficult to prove one's intent. How will you prove the intent of the speaker? So using the definition of dangerous speech, I will not delve too much into the criteria because of time, but do note that we are considering the audience. In other words, if the audience perceives your act, the speech that you say, to be wrong and offensive to them, it can be considered a hate speech act. The other thing that we consider is the social and historical context and the speaker. So a powerful speaker. If I talk to you right now, a statement that I say might not be as impactful as if, say, one of our politicians comes and talks to you. So he has more influence over this audience. The methodology, use of human monitors. I like saying human monitors because people are like, what? You're making humans tools? We're using people to scour the internet. So basically what they do from 9 to 5 is they come in, they sit in front of a computer screen and they look through all these blogs, forums, Facebook posts, Twitter pages to look for these examples of hate speech. Then we have a form which they use to categorize these into the 3, we've called them hate speech buckets, so that we can know which ones of these are offensive speech, which one is moderately dangerous speech, and which is an extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous speech is what we refer to the Uchaguzi platform, because this means that these are calls to kill, calls to riot, calls to forcibly evict. I'll share with you some of the findings we found really interesting, because we started in September and we've just finished November, so we'll just quickly go through some of the findings. To be honest, when we started this project, I assumed that we'd not have a large number of extremely dangerous speech, because I thought the internet users are educated. They live in urban centers, meaning they're mixed up, whether it's along the lines of tribe or anything. And I also assumed that we'll not get lots of examples of this. However, in the first month, we had 26% of extremely dangerous speech. These are calls to kill, calls to forcibly evict, and calls to riot. And then the second month, it increased to 34%. And then there's a slight decrease in November, but it's still significant. It's at 21%. The second interesting finding we found is that most of the people who commit these acts of hate speech are identifiable, meaning they either use their real name or a pseudonym, meaning they can be tracked down. It seems that people are not aware that, either they're not aware or they don't care that whatever they say can be a call to cause harm to another community or a group. So as you can see here, in September it was 52%, in October 53%, and in November 91%, meaning 91% of all the acts we picked up were performed by people who can be found out, people on Facebook, for example. The third interesting finding is that calls to discriminate were the main call to action. So the other calls to action are to beat, to discriminate, to forcefully evict, to kill, or to riot. A call to action is when you say an act, you're trying to get the people who are listening to do something. So I'm trying to get you to beat another group, or to discriminate another group, or to forcefully evict, or to kill, or to riot. So all through the months, we've seen that the one that is most recurrent is calls to discriminate other groups, whether it's another group along tribe, another group along religion, another group along political lines. So this project, as I mentioned, started in September. It will continue up until April, just after the elections, because of the possibility of a runoff. But we're hoping to extend it into June. Also, we are hoping to add another monitor, because currently we are focusing on four tribes: the Kikuyu, the Luo, Luya, and Kalenjin. Then we have a 5th monitor doing Swahili. But now we see the need to include a monitor to monitor the Somali community. And also we share these reports. We have monthly reports, the first of which will be out next week. And we want to share these reports through media events, mailing lists, I have research blog, because this information is for public consumption, to have more people aware of hate speech. Thank you very much. Yeah, more questions during the panel.